proved it was a wheat. That proved it was a sheep. Hallelujah! I'm sure you see what I'm talking about. Hallelujah! It was waved over the people. And the first time that will come forth for the bride age, or a resurrection out of dark denominationalism, will be a message that the full maturity of the Word has turned back again in its full power and being waved over the people by the same signs and wonders that He did that. The word that fell on the day of Pentecost will not work this day. No, sir, that was for Pentecost. This is for the bride. Going home with the bride. We got something different. The Pentecostal represented that again. We're in the bride age. Now it's beginning to pull away. The wheats begin to be seen. This is not a Pentecostal age. This is a latter-day age. This is a bride age. This is the evening light. This is when Malachi 4 must be fulfilled to follow God's pattern. This is Luke 17:30 to be fulfilled. This is the scriptures of Jeremiah and all the rest of them that Joel has spoke of these days. This is that day. We're not living in a Pentecostal age. We're living in another age. See, we're not living in the Methodist age. We're living in another age. We're living on up here to the bride age, the calling out of the church and getting it together for the rapture. That's the age that we're now living. To my honest opinion, that's exactly the truth. What a time it is that we're living in. Something like a calendar. You look at the calendar and find out what day of the year you're living in. And you look at God's Bible to see what age we're living in. We're not living in the Methodist age, the Baptist age. We're living in the bride age, the calling, bringing back to God through a channel that He promised to bring us back in. He promised to it. Did Jesus say in the last days, Matthew 24:24, the two would be so close it would deceive the very genes, predestinated, the elected ones, if it was possible. Almost like the real thing. So, in the last days. Now, you see, it's wheat time now. It's getting harvest time. This is not Luther's age. This is not Pentecost age. This is a bride age. As Moses called a nation out of a nation, Christ today is calling a church out of a church, you see. The same thing in type. Take them to the glorious, eternal, promised land. Of course, there's going to be no more church ages. This is the end of the Laodicea, was the last age. And Pentecost is that Laodicea age, and we know that. There'll never be no more above Pentecost. That's it. That's exactly when the church and the Word has to be one, like Jesus and God was one. Just exactly. God was in Christ, reconciling the world to Himself, and so will Christ have to be in the church, the anointed of the Word, to make everything fulfilled, and that's a capstone that comes upon the last church age, not the Laodicea now. It's a calling out of that, a bride out of a church. Church out of a church, in other words. It's like He called a nation out of a nation in Egypt. And now we're living in that day. Say, well now, Brother Branham, you're done run out. You got your 7. All right, let's take the last feast, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, notice here in the 36th verse. 7 days shall you offer offerings made of fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day, on the 8th day shall be a holy convocation. There's another holy time coming. Holy convocation unto you, and you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, and it is a solemn assembly. Amen. And you shall do new several work therein. Now we got an 8th day. Now there's only 7 days, but here we speak of the 8th day holy convocation. Notice, do no work in it. The 8th day, or what? Back to the first day. What speaks of eternity. As she rolls around without a stopping place. Amen. Do you see it? Notice, it was also upon this 8th day, last day, feast day of the tabernacle. Notice, after that, after the last feast day, after the last church age, after the last complete 7 days upon the earth, after the millennium, that this holy convocation comes. Amen. Remember, this is Feast of Tabernacles. Amen. Tabernacles. Amen. Gathering places. Amen. 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 Where in the millennium, the Bible said, they shall build houses. Amen. They shall inhabit. But in the new earth, He's already went and prepared the place. It's built. Amen. We have nothing to do with the building of it. Amen. Eternal. Oh, I just love that word. My. Amen. A holy convocation. The 8th day, which is only 7 days. Then on the 8th day, which comes back to the first day again. Comes right back to the first day. The 8th day is a holy convocation. Notice, 7 days only has to do with the old creation world time. 7 days, that's a millennium. The rest day is God labored 6 days, rested the 7th. The church labors 6 days and rests the 7th. But you're still in time element. I ain't speaking of the eternal. But you see, there's no such a thing as 8 days. You go back to the first day again. See? The first day,